What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Talk Talk Punch. My name is Brody Hanson. I am joined by Charlie Hickman. We are talking about some movies. So if you're here for the first time, go ahead and like, subscribe. It really helps us out. It helps us to beat that algorithm, get past the algorithm. So that's helpful for us. So if you like what we're talking about, if you enjoy it, just hit those. So today, Charlie, how you doing?
I'm not doing too bad, bro. It's good to
No?
see you. Always good to get these talks in.
I
Look
know.
forward to them every
I
week.
agree. I agree. I do have to admit, I have a burp right here. Right here.
Yeah,
It's just stuck. It's not coming
well,
out.
you gotta let that out, man. You
I
can't hold that in.
I can't I don't know how. It's stuck right here. It's not high enough that I can like try to force it out. It's just stuck
Try,
right
try to
here.
like try
I
to
feel it.
a couple punches to the chest. See if you can like dislodge it.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to get it out.
So just at any point, like at any point during the podcast here, you might just let one out.
It's very possible where it may just come out
All right?
and then I'll cheer. Um,
All
but
right.
that's just a fair
So
warning for everybody. You know, if it comes,
all
like
right.
I can't stop it.
Put in the comments right now. Is it going to be dry burp or a wet burp? Will it feel
I
moist,
don't know. I don't
or
know.
will it just be like an
It's just stuck. It's
unsatisfying
right
like
here, right
dry burp?
between Luke and Leia is a burp.
I think yeah, that is what happens when you kiss your sister, bro.
You know,
There's a burp between you.
hey, that was planned the whole time.
Yes, well thought out.
All right. Well, today we are talking about movies that we have never seen. Now they
Oh, what a
are
twist!
not the
Eat
favorite
your heart out,
movies.
Shyamalan.
Nothing nothing about the favorite movies or anything like that. It's stuff we haven't seen. It's kind of come up in past episodes of
Yes.
I talk about something and you're like, bro, I've never seen it. Or you talk about something and I say, Charlie, I've never seen that movie. And so we just kind of decided, hey, this would be kind of fun to talk about of these movies that we've never seen before. Um, so Charlie, how did you build this list? How did you gather your movies?
This is a hard list to build because if you haven't seen it, there's like a certain amount of absence when you try to think of like movies that you love. There's like an instantaneous like kind of like a reference point in your brain of like, oh yeah, I can flip through the movies that I really like.
Sure.
Movies I haven't seen, it's a little bit harder to kind of just go, oh yeah, these 50 movies that I've never seen that other people have seen that probably will think I'm dumb for not having seen. So what I did is I went and I looked at the top 250 rated movies in IMDb of all time.
Okay.
I looked up the top movies by decade by gross. I looked
Okay.
up the all-time movies by gross adjusted inflation and all. So a lot of different. I thought, what are the things that people have seen the most? So I kind of approached it like from a critical standpoint, and then also just from like a straight commercial standpoint, to just to get a feel. And then I sprinkled in other ones. I cheat a little bit on my list, or a lot on my list. So you'll see. It's
Okay.
some some of them are more like categorical instead of like single one-off movies.
Sure.
Just because it's too many to name. Like, there's like a
Yeah.
certain
Yeah.
level of shame involved in a list like this. So there's definitely, there's gonna be some hang your head moments on my list, and certainly you will think a little less of me after this. And I apologize in advance. So,
Hey,
but
it's
stick around to see
okay.
how dumb we are.
It's okay because I'm kind of in the same boat. I did a very similar thing. I went through, the top movies on IMDb, and some of those I just kind of grabbed from there, and I said, "Oh, that's rated really highly, and I've never seen that." And I don't know why I haven't seen that. I did also cheat. There's some where it was kind of like, here's a category, here's like a set thing, and here's a couple movies that I just never saw through that. I have some bombshells though. I think you're going to be kind of shocked by a couple of these, and
I hope
to the
so. I
point
hope your
where
list is worse than mine.
I think that you won't believe me on a couple of these because you're going to say, I know you've seen that. You had to have seen that, and I'll say, no, I haven't seen it, and so you won't believe me. So shocking, so shocking. Number one will shock
Truth's
you.
going to come out that Brody's never seen a Batman movie in his entire life. His fandom is a lie. I'm ready to be shocked.
That would be something. That would be something. All right. Well, let's just start it out then, Charlie. What's now? Okay. So did you kind of go from a 10 to 1 list, or you just kind of have?
I organized everything into like broader categories and then
Okay.
kind of pigeonhorned. Is that the
Pigeonholed,
shoehorned pigeonholed
shoehorn,
and a shoehorn.
pigeonholed. There you go.
I think pigeonhorned
I
is
like
the new
pigeonhorn.
change
Pigeonhorn works.
approved. So I pigeonhorned all these movies together into a list of 10. The order from 10 to 1 that I feel shame is not how I did it. Maybe that's how I should have done it. I did put like the ones that I think will cause the most like kind of looks towards the top end, and maybe some, so I try to organize that way. So
Okay.
you'll see my 10 is very tame. My number 10, I have not seen any of the live action Disney films yet.
None of them.
So I've not seen Aladdin, I've not seen Beauty and the Beast or Dumbo or Jungle Book, or if there are other ones, is the Little
Mulai?
Mermaid one yet?
I believe
Mulai?
they're
Did you
making
just
a
say
Little Mermaid.
Mulan?
Mulan.
Mulan?
Sorry.
I haven't seen any of if there's a Mulai, if that's the sequel.
No,
I have not seen that either.
That's what I was thinking.
Was there a live action Lilo and Stitch?
No,
I would watch that.
No.
Okay.
You haven't even seen them with your kids.
I haven't. And that to me like is kind of like one of the more surprising aspects of this. And they're available on streaming.
Yeah, they're
So-
all on Disney Plus.
I'm really without excuse on this other than I guess look, some of these conversations may go in some different directions. I will offer up some very brief explanations as to why I've seen this. Some of these I have no excuse for, and some of them like these, I'm just going to say I just don't have a big interest in seeing them, so I just haven't really
Okay.
prioritized them in my watching.
I've enjoyed them. I think I've seen all of them. Not Mulan, obviously, because I misspoke. But once it's free, because right now you have to pay Disney Plus to
Right.
watch it, but it will go free eventually, and then I will watch it. Though I never saw the cartoon one, so that's not on my list. It's just a shock.
You've
that
never you've never seen the cartoon Mulan?
No. Mm-mm.
Well, that should be on your list. What are you talking about?
I
What are you
don't know.
doing?
Honorable mention. There's my number
Honorable-
11.
Honorable mention.
My number 11, the cartoon Mulan. I never saw it. I don't know why.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I just never got around to
Yeah,
it.
it's fine. It's fine.
No, I enjoy the live action Disney's. The Lion King is good. We just watched
Okay.
the Aladdin one, and that was fun.
I'm sure they're all great. I mean, I liked the cartoon versions.
If you like the cartoons, you should watch the live action.
I was a little disappointed in the Lion King musical. I saw that in the theater, or like the actual, like an actual theater, not a movie theater, but a
Yeah.
theater. It was okay.
Well, if you like the cartoon, you'd probably like the live action because
To be fair,
it is like a direct translation, especially the
we
Lion
had an
King one.
understudy as young the Mufasa
Mufasa.
Mulai as the young.
There it was. It was very weak.
Did you
but
burp?
there it was. Yeah. I did.
Yes, and
I
he could not carry a tune, so it was
Oh,
very
really?
distracting. I just can't wait to be king, and
Oh.
I feel like he's an adult now. This was a long time ago. I'm sure if he's watching this, if you were ever the understudy for the Lion King and you as a kid, and you know who you are, singing all those flat notes, ruining a good time, a perfectly good date night. I'm sure your career has gone in a lot of better directions. I should have kept the program because then I could call him out right now.
The Lion King was good though. It's good. Yeah. I don't know. If I had to rank them.
I'm sure others had better experiences. All right. Well, what's your 10? Since
Okay.
Honorable mention the cartoon Mulan.
Yeah. My number 10 is so it's The Following, which I'm sure not a lot of people have seen, but for as much as I talk about how much I love Christopher Nolan movies, it was his first movie, and I haven't seen it. I thought I should put it on there because I love all Christopher Nolan movies, and I'm like, oh, I love this movie. I could just watch this movie all the time. For whatever reason, though, I just haven't gotten around to watching. I've seen all of his other movies, but I haven't seen this one.
Is that on a streaming service?
I'm not even sure. I haven't looked it up. I don't know. It's kind of a mystery to me because I'm sure I would enjoy it because it's with Christopher Nolan, but Yeah, it's as I was thinking about stuff, I'm like, well, you know, I love all these movies, all of his movies, but I just haven't seen this one. And
Hmm.
that's kind of it's why it's my number 10, because I'm sure not a lot of people have seen it. I think it was a relatively low budget movie. Um,
Right.
and so it is one of those ones where I'm like, I feel like this is a movie that I should have seen for how much I praise Christopher Nolan.
Yeah. I mean, like if you're gonna walk around and claim to be the number one Christopher Nolan fan in all of the world, yeah,
I
you might
don't
want to
claim
see all the
that.
films first.
Don't claim that.
I've heard you say that word for word, but whatever.
Oh, I must have been
Just so you
asleep.
know, people seem to like it on the IMDb.
Really?
It's being described as a small shot of British neo noir bliss.
I'd love to watch it.
And then, of course, right beneath that, Max underscore Planck says that I'm mystified by the high praise this gets. He didn't seem to like it, but that's okay, bro. Don't let Max Planck deter you from being the world's number one, first and foremost,
Hmm.
Christopher Nolan fanboy.
Hey, there's people that don't like The Dark Knight out there.
Shameful. Those people are shameful. That movie still has a 9 on IMDb. Is it time? Can we have the conversation as a collective body of people that movie can be really good and not be one of the best of all time? Can we just have? Are we ready to have that conversation? Like that, you can love that movie and you can enjoy it, and it could be even one of your personal favorites without it being a 9 out of 10. That's rated higher than any Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, fill in the blank, Indiana Jones, Back to the Future, any of the movies that it's just slightly below, Shawshank Redemption. I mean, like that. That's like number 6 on the all-time 250 list or something ridiculous like that. Look.
Deserves
You
it.
can love The Dark Knight. I don't know why are we talking about The Dark Knight? Love The Dark Knight. It's a great movie. It's just not like one of the 10 best of all time. I'm sorry, it's not. Hit me up in the comments. Feel free to disagree. And remember, personal preference does not make a top 10 film of all time for all people. It just can't. I'm sorry. It's good. It's a good movie. Rest in peace, Heath. Love you.
All right. Moving on. Number 9. Charlie, what's your number 9?
I've never seen The Dark Knight.
That's
No, I'm just kidding. All right, so number 9, I put some a little cheat in here.
Okay.
Some spin-off franchises here.
Okay.
I have not seen any of the Fantastic Beasts or Hobbit films, and I put these on here because they're both franchises that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, and
Not even the
saw
Hobbit
cartoon.
Huh? Not
Yeah.
even the Hobbit
Look,
movies.
Can we have just you and me, bro? Everyone else, tune out real quick.
All right.
Just you. I'm not sure I still like the Lord of the Rings movies. I loved them
Really?
when they came out. I'm not sure I could sit down and rewatch them. They're
Really?
really long. They're really, really long and really slow and not really that interesting.
Oh, I still really like them.
I tried to watch some of it with the kids, and I don't know. I just wasn't into it. I loved it. I saw them in theaters. I watched them on. This is how old I am. I had to not just put in one DVD to finish the movie. I had to take that DVD out and put in a second DVD. How degrading that was to walk up off the couch and to put in a second DVD just to watch one film.
Yeah.
Come on.
I still have those. They're like they're really nice box sets, but
I just don't know. They have and you know what? It's probably just my attention span as I've gotten older has shrunk. No doubt that is probably a part of that. And so rewatching really it's not like I can just rewatch one, I'll just put on Fellowship of the Rings and I'll just watch this for 3.5 hours real quick and then I'll go about my day. I mean, it's like an event. You got to set aside time and then you got to set aside multiple days to get through the whole thing. I don't want to turn this into they're fantastic movies and I'm so glad I saw them. If you haven't seen them, you should definitely check them out. I just don't know that they've held up for me. Okay, you guys can come back and listen now. It's okay.
So is it because of your feelings on that you didn't see The Hobbit then?
I think it played a role. And I think hearing other people's reviews of it too, and just knowing they split it into multiple films for no particular reason and were dragging it out and
Yeah.
and just like that kind of slow paced storytelling, which can be really powerful when you're like hyper invested into the material.
Sure.
I've read the Hobbit book multiple times. I've seen the Hobbit cartoon film,
Yeah. Hey, I
and
remember
and
that one.
it's material that I've enjoyed and that I've been familiar with, but it just I wasn't excited. It didn't look that compelling to me. Did you see it? Did you like it?
Yes,
Yes, you saw it, and yes, you liked it.
I we'll get to
Oh,
that.
okay. All right, no spoilers. All right, no
Okay,
flies on you,
but
Brooke.
but not even the Fantastic Beasts.
No, I just missed him in the theaters.
Okay.
If they're not on, like, by the way, if they didn't come like immediately to like Netflix or a streamer, and I missed him in the theaters, I stopped buying DVDs a long time ago.
Yeah.
So it's like if I didn't see it in the theater and it didn't come to like a streamer, I just kind of missed it. So to the best of my knowledge, I haven't seen those on any of like the major streaming services, at least not within the last few
They're
years.
probably on like the HBO one, I would think, because those are WB movies.
Max.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? We just recently became Max subscribers. I have not investigated that yet, so I will look for that, and then
Yeah,
I can watch those, and I'll check them off my list.
we Amy and I are really big Harry Potter fans.
Yeah.
Like really big. And we didn't see any of the Fantastic Beasts in theaters. It took us a while to watch the first Fantastic Beasts, even at home. And
Yeah.
even then, we weren't like really rushing out to get to the second Fantastic. I haven't seen the second
Yeah.
Fantastic Beasts. It's interesting because it's in that world, but it's not
Right.
the Harry Potter story that you kind of fall in love with the books. You know, it doesn't have the connection to the books. We have like the
Yeah, I've got them over here.
we've got some
my
over
right shoulder.
here.
Right.
Yeah, back there.
Over here.
You know, and it just doesn't have that book connection that you get with the main Harry Potter
Yeah.
series. And so
That makes sense.
we were kind of like, it's fine. And we finished Fantastic Beasts and we were like, it's fine. So
Look, I feel bad about my Lord of the Rings take here. I want to be clear. I really love those movies.
Yeah.
I just think it's harder as I've gotten older to find the quantity of time to invest into watching slow, lengthy
Sure.
movies like that. It's just been hard. So
Yeah.
I don't mean to make it. I'm not trying to hate on the Lord of the Rings franchise. You got me so far. You've got me somehow to say the Dark Knight's not the greatest movie of all time, and I don't like the Lord of the Rings films. And, so all right, we're going downhill.
And
real
here we
fast.
are doing a movie podcast. All right.
Controversial. Look, you don't have
Okay.
to like everything, and you don't. And I like them. I just don't have to. All right, you know what? I'm not going to defend myself.
All
There'll be one more reason why I haven't seen those later on in the list, but we'll
Okay.
get there.
Okay.
What's your next one?
All right. So my number 9, this was an area where there's a couple movies, and so I kind of lumped them into one. I called it the 1940s. And so in that I put Citizen Kane, Casablanca, and It's a Wonderful Life. They're movies that people talk about being like these great movies, and I've never seen them. I've never really had like a huge desire, I guess. There's a lot of people who say like It's a Wonderful Life is like one of the best movies ever made, and same thing with Citizen Kane. But I have a hard time finding a reason to like sit down and really watch them. So it's kind of a, it's number 9, so it's not super high on my list, especially as we kind of move forward in time. Like, I don't know if these are movies that people still hold really highly. I don't know. Have you seen any of these movies, Charlie?
Well,
Have you
I
seen
don't
all
want
of
to
them?
spoil any possible future
Oh,
installments on the
okay.
list here.
All right.
I will say this, that I do think context really matters.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about films like, whether it's something from the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, uh, the filmmaking in and of itself, like the achievements of some of
Hmm.
that, of the filmmakers then for like the time that they made like the Wizard of Oz in the 30s,
Sure.
things like that. I mean, it's really impressive like for the time, and there is a diminishing kind of like every decade that rolls by, there's like a that kind of diminishes a little bit. Like
Sure.
I've seen Casablanca,
Okay.
I've seen Citizen Kane, I've seen a lot of the old classics. I watched a lot of them, doing some my dad literally wrote a book about film music and teaches classes on that, and so I had a lot of exposure to some of these older films, actually not as a kid but as an adult. So I did
Okay.
it kind of weird, taking some film classes and stuff. But yeah, look, there's some great like filmmaking stuff that like if you're studying like the art of it or the
Sure.
craft of it,
Sure.
like, makes it more interesting. I think we're already seeing this happen. Like, there's movie like something like Pulp Fiction. I think we've talked about, you and I've talked about. But I just love Pulp Fiction came out, or Clerks, and I
Yeah.
was just like, oh man, these are great. And it was just because it was so innovative at the time, and like the storytelling was different, and the way that it was done was so great. And then time passes, and people keep doing it, and they're inspired by that, and redoing it, and then after a while, it's just like you go back, and when someday, I'm gonna sit down with my kids, and I'll be like, oh, when they're older, much older, and I'll be like, hey, let's watch Pulp Fiction, and they're gonna be like, oh, this is not that interesting,
Sure.
and it'll be fine, and I'll understand that, because I'm sure my dad felt that way. Where he's like, oh, we gotta watch Spartacus, and I'm like, okay, great, let's watch Spartacus. Like this is it's not that exciting,
Yeah.
so I think there is like a diminishment over time of like our understanding of like what that was. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like I watched that as an adult. I completely missed that at an age where it might have been scary, and then you're just
Yeah.
kind of watching it, you're like, okay, yeah,
That's probably
people
horror
like
movies
this.
kind of in general. It's,
Yeah,
I haven't really with
we should do a
technology
horror movie
and stuff.
for Halloween. We should do one.
Ugh, I don't like horror movies.
Top 10 movies horror movies I'm gonna make you watch in October.
Oh, no. So that's my number 9 is the 1940s, because
The
I have
40s,
I
the
haven't
whole
seen them
decade.
the whole decade. The whole
All right,
decade.
I know we're kind of trailing here, but what's the oldest movie that you've seen?
Oh, golly. Um, I did watch the 1928 Phantom of the Opera. I think it was
Oh, all right.
1928, 1929, something. It was
Look at you.
it's a silent film. I got when I was a kid, actually. I was fairly young. It was like the early 90s, and like the musical was
And all the
out,
kids were getting into the
and
Phantom.
my mom and my older sister were like big into the soundtrack, and so I was listening to all that all the time, and it was like, I'm gonna do all the Phantom of the Opera stuff. And so I was, you find the VHS at like the local video store, and you're like, I'm gonna watch this. And
Right.
then it was like a silent film, and very different from from the musical, as he's got this labyrinth below him of all this different stuff. But yeah, so that's probably the oldest movie. Other than that, probably something like a Wizard of Oz. Is
Yeah, and original Disney Snow White, things like that. I'm
sure,
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 like the cartoon stuff. But
yeah.
yeah, all right. Cool. So I'm gonna switch my list order up a little bit then. So I'll just go right into. I have not seen Miracle on 34th Street or It's
Okay.
a Wonderful Life. So I put
Oh,
like these
neither one of us
classic
have seen
Christmas.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah. So I know they're like classic Christmas movies, and
Yeah.
uh, so my family did not watch movies together. So my aforementioned father, we just didn't watch a lot of films together, but he did share, just talking about his class and doing stuff with him. That we've ping ponged movies back and forth. So he's been more of an influence, I guess, on my adult watching than
Okay.
he ever was on my kid watching. So look, a lot of the before my time thing is a
Mhm.
little. It's a little bit of a cop out. I think that people use oftentimes, like,
Mhm.
oh, have you seen this? Like my wife's seen like no movies ever. She could just she could do a solo podcast here, and she could start in like whatever decade you wanted, and she could pull out like 50 movies that would horrify you that she hasn't seen. And so, you know, we in our courtship, we, you know, I try to, you know, start just showing her movies. Oh, you haven't seen this, you haven't seen this. Oh, you know, and it's every now and then it was like, oh, you know, it's a little bit before my time. You know, it's like, what? Don't give me that. You know, like we've all seen movies. We've all heard. I'm sorry. What's the Mona Lisa you speak of? I'm sorry, that was painted before my time. Like the Sistine Chapel. What is that? I don't know. It's before my time. Who's this Abe Lincoln fellow? Oh, he was before my time. I haven't learned about anything else other than what has existed since I've been born. There's just, but someone's got to, if it's not in your time period, someone's got to introduce that to you. You've got to find that in a through like some weird life happenstance. You know, there's a 70s music well before my time. My parents did not listen to rock and roll. You know, my parents, it was all classical music all the time. So I didn't grow up on 70s, 80s music, any of that. So, you know, I grew up on bad, like, you know, late 80s, early 90s stuff. And it wasn't until I started playing my own, you know, instruments like bass and guitar that I started going back and then, the Beatles, they were pretty good. And you know, just Zeppelin and getting it like, okay, so listen to some classic rock, all before my time, but take the time to, you know, anyway. So if you're younger out there, a lot of these movies are going to be well before your time, and that's fine. These movies are well before my time, so I'm not going to use that as an excuse.
Yeah.
My family just we weren't big Christmas celebrators, and we didn't watch movies. So there wasn't really like, let's gather around the television and watch this. And in my adult age, now that, you know, Christmas is, you know, something I love to share with my family, it's like Elf and, you know, Christmas Story I watched a lot as a kid, or, you know, there's just newer, Ernest Saves Christmas, you know, the classics. Should we do a top 10 Christmas movie?
We could. Christmas is coming up. So.
How creepy is the Polar Express animation?
Not great. So, yeah, you know, and I could have added Miracle on 34th Street onto my 40s one. I haven't seen that either.
Yeah.
And so it's
40. That was like 47.
Yeah. You know, I know the scenes. It's like, oh, pull the beard. It's real. You know, but
which one's the angel gets its wings? Which one is that?
I think that's Miracle on 34th Street, right?
Is that 34th Street? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know either. Yeah, I don't know.
This Wonderful Life, is that the one where he dies or something, like the Christmas Carol? Tell us down below. Help us out.
Yeah, it's
that's
a
much
Wonderful
faster
Life.
than us Googling it.
They've like redone the movie a whole bunch of times. One of them was with Nicolas Cage, I want to say. I don't know. But yeah, he like wakes up and his life is different, and you know.
About Family Man?
He was actually, maybe it was Family Man. You know,
that was Nicolas Cage one.
He
Don
was like,
Cheadle.
he was successful, and then he woke up and he was not as successful, but he was
few,
married
like
and had
Destiny,
kids.
Where he had to hit the baseball. There's been a few of those.
Yeah. I think it's kind of become a movie trope, you know, at this point, where people kind of say like it's a Wonderful Life, you know. So that, but I've never seen the original, and I've never seen Miracle on 34th Street. So
missed it.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
What's your number 8?
So my number 8, kind of going off of yours, is, though a bit more specific, is Hobbit 3: The Battle of Five Armies. So
you watched the first two and didn't watch the third one?
We saw the first two in theaters, and then just totally missed the last one. Still haven't seen it, and why? I don't know. Well,
that's worse than not seeing any of them.
That's true. That's true. I know exactly why we haven't seen it, or didn't see it in theaters like we saw the others. Man, it came out like 2013, 2014, and we were prime, like kids, babies. It was like baby time. I think now that I think about it, I think it actually came out in December of 2014, because I looked this up recently, which was like, it came out like 2 or 3 weeks before my third kid was born. And so there is no way that I am dragging a 9-month pregnant Amy to a 3+ hour movie. And so then and then number 3 was born, and then and then it was just out of theaters. And we just haven't gotten around to seeing it. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere. It's just I have another burp. It's right here. It's in the same spot. It's like half of it came out, and then the other half is like, we're gonna hang out here. So I can feel it. This is gonna drive me nuts. God, I feel like I'm dying.
Let it out, man. Let it out.
I can't. I'm afraid I'm gonna like puke if I try too hard, which would be great content as I.
Oh, it would be amazing, amazing content. Can we just let's just make this clear?
That's a way to get us viral is to just have Brody puke right up.
I mean, that's literally how you go viral. I think is when you're throwing up. That's like a.
So there's my number 8 is Battle of Five Armies. I would love to see it. I feel like I should probably watch the first 2 again. I remember the first one because it was the journey. I remember the second one because it was the dragon. And then the third one, I would like to see it. Why haven't I gone out of my way to see it? I don't know.
Good question.
I don't know.
Why not?
So there's my number 8, Hobbit 3, Battle of Five Armies.
Nice.
How about your number 7?
All right, my number 7 is all James Bond films previous to look, I'm gonna say Pierce. I want to say Pierce Brosnan.
Okay.
I know that that's not true. I know that like as a kid, I saw the Timothy
Dalton.
No, Dalton one.
Dalton.
I know I saw that. I was looking at it. I'm like I don't remember it at all. I know I saw it, but I didn't see any of the Sean Connery Bond films.
Really?
Yeah, so I missed.
Are you
all
sure?
I'm 100% sure. And I tried to like as an adult go back and watch some like Goldfinger or something like that.
Yeah.
Or Moonraker or something. I think it was Moonraker. I tried to watch it and I was just, oh my gosh, this is so cheesy. And I'm sure, and this is like we were talking like the context of when you see it.
Yeah.
I'm sure if I'd seen that A as a kid or B like when it was when it first came out, it would have been like, oh, this is amazing. But I think I watched like 5 minutes to Moonraker and I was like, okay, I can't. I'm out.
We didn't go through like a James Bond thing when like GoldenEye and stuff came out? We didn't go back and watch.
Oh, like do a marathon?
Well, because like you and I were hanging out and we were playing the GoldenEye video game and
love the GoldenEye
Pierce
video
Brosnan
game.
was
I love Pierce.
Hot into everything. We didn't go back and watch the old ones.
I don't own any of them, and so we would have had to either like rent them from a Blockbuster or purchase them.
Interesting.
So, yeah,
I don't know.
And it didn't interest me when I was younger, so I never made a point of interest. And then by the time it did interest me, I think I'd missed the window. I'm sure like if I sat down to rewatch them, they'd be fine. And I'm sure probably people are angry listening to this. I do remember like the before they took away the message boards on IMDb, I watched Chinatown and I was like, this movie's terrible. And I dropped that in the comments and I got the longest. My comment was more thought out. I was just like this. I feel like this is like a really overrated film, and just got this like, 4-page response of all the reasons why I'm the dumbest human being alive for not liking Chinatown.
Goodness.
Which, by the way, if you've never seen it, try to watch it now. I dare you. So I'm sure people are out there just, smashing instead of smashing the like and subscribe button, they're just smashing their computers. We
might get a lot of downvotes.
The Sean Connery.
Don't downvote it. Upvote it.
Don't downvote. Yeah. Every time you downvote, I delete another classic movie from my memory. It's just gone forever. Every upvote, an angel.
That's interesting. I'm. When you say that, I'm trying to think of how many I've seen. I don't know. I think I probably saw the Timothy Dalton one, though I couldn't tell you any of the names of them.
Yeah, it's. I know I've seen it, but it doesn't resonate.
The Pierce Brosnan ones, stand out to me. The more recent ones, most of them I've seen in theaters.
The Daniel Craig stuff you watched.
Yeah, the Daniel Craig ones, but. And I know, like when I was a kid, I saw some of the Sean Connery ones, but nothing.
Watch the Lazenby.
Nothing. So no, I don't think I saw the Lazenby one. I know I saw some Sean Connery ones because my older sister liked those, but not to the point where I could be like, oh, that's that title and that's what happened and that was that bad guy. And
Right.
so
Is you're the man now dog.com still a website?
I hope so.
All right, go try see if we can find that. You're the man now dog.com, the greatest Sean Connery fan site of all time.
Yeah.
All right, what's next? Save me, bro. What's next on your list?
Yeah.
Come on, bail me out here.
Okay. So now this is one that when it comes up in conversation, I usually get a lot of raised eyebrows. And that is pretty much any like anime movies. I specifically wrote Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh, it's a good one.
But that or like Totoro or
Okay.
really any Spirited Away. Wasn't Spirited Away, one of them?
Yeah, that was also good.
I haven't seen any of them. And people say like they're so great, you need to watch them, and I'm kind of like, maybe one day I'll get around to it. I don't know. I haven't had a huge desire to see them.
It's good stuff.
And
you should show your kids Kiki's Delivery Service is a good entry.
I think that was another one that I saw on like the IMDb list, but yeah, I just haven't seen. Are they all subtitles? I don't know.
You get the dub. There's a lot of them have dubs. Okay. So if that's a deal breaker, if having to read a little bit is
a little bit, you're reading for like 2 hours. It's a lot of reading.
All right.
No, that's not the deal breaker. It's just one of those things that I just never got around to seeing. And if given the opportunity between like watching an anime movie versus watching like a Marvel movie, I'd probably go with the Marvel. I don't know. I never saw them. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't even have like a good excuse. I'm like, oh man, I have a gal at work that I talk to that loves them. She's like, oh, you should watch this one, and you should watch this one, and this one. And I'm like, I haven't seen any of them. And she, kind of gives me the look of like, what do you mean you haven't seen any of them? And I don't know. I haven't seen any of them.
I don't know. Every now and then you get like a little Scooby sound. I don't know.
So that's my number 7 is I wrote Howl's Moving Castle, but pretty much any of the popular anime I haven't seen.
Okay.
I don't know. How about you? What's your we're on to number 6. What's your number
6? Yeah. I have not seen any of the recent. You know what? No, you know what? I'm switching my order. Oh. I'm changing things up. I'm going off on the fly here.
Whoa!
I'm going to put number 6, unfinished franchises.
Okay.
So in order to qualify for this spot on the list, I have to have seen at least one film in the franchise and then not finished the franchise.
So you haven't finished it. So it's stuff that you haven't finished watching. Yes. Not stuff that was made and then never finished. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, to be clear. Okay. So like I like for instance, I saw the first Transformers movie, and since then I could not tell you how many have been made. You showed me the Bumblebee movie, so I watched that with you and your family.
Yeah. I like the Bumblebee.
So those are the 2 that I've seen. How many are there now?
I was just trying to count. It was Darker Than the Moon, and then number 3. And then number 4 was when Mark Wahlberg came in. And then there was another one with Mark Wahlberg. So 5, I think.
Okay.
And I think
and that 5th, includes Bumblebee or not including Bumblebee?
I think not include Bumblebee. So I think there's 6 total, including Bumblebee. But man, like I know the number 5, which I believe was called Last Night. Final Night, Last Night, something like that. When they like started to tie in like King Arthur and stuff like that, I heard that it just like nobody saw it. All of the Transformers were like making money, and then this one came out and everybody was like, Nope. And it bombed horribly. And yeah, so
That's funny. Okay.
that's why we got
So
Bumblebee, because it was like a soft reboot. It was like, oh, forget that we
that
made those.
is terrible. I did not know there was a King Arthur reference in the Transformers movies.
Yeah,
That is
and I never saw it. I think that's the only one that I haven't seen, but I read about it and I was like, I don't need to see that.
Do you want me to break these up, or do you want me just to kind of rattle off a few more franchises that I never
Rattle off. I don't know. However you want to do it.
I have not seen all the diehards because they started to break my heart. I have not seen
I didn't
all
see
of the
the
Pirates of
last
the Caribbean
2, I think.
films.
I haven't seen the
Gave up on
last
that.
2 Pirates either.
I I wrote down a few, and then now I just blanked on the other ones I was going to add. Anyway, there's just some franchises that I kind of started and then got disheartened by, and just kind of never closed them out.
Yeah. No, and that.
First Class, like X-Men First Class. I did not finish the franchise there.
Oh man, the X-Men franchise just had some okay highs and some really low lows.
Yeah.
You could watch. I could say, okay, so which of the X-Men did you see then?
I saw First Class.
Okay, which was
And then
technically number 4.
What was the next one?
After that was Days of Future Past.
And after that one was the newest one,
After that was Apocalypse,
and then the newest one.
and then was Dark Phoenix.
Okay. I did not see the last 2. I saw the first 3 X-Men, and then I saw First Class, and I'm not sure if I've seen Days of Future Past, if I'm being honest.
Days of Future Past was good. I liked Days of Future
Describe
Past.
that to me. Which one? Tell me
It's
the plot
where
real quick. This is exciting content.
It takes place in the 70s, and so you've got a split
Okay,
between.
no, I haven't seen it.
Between the future and the past, and so they send Wolverine back in time to prevent Magneto or Mystique, I don't remember which one, from killing a senator.
Yeah, like the X-Men stuff for me. Like I loved the X-Men comics growing up. I was a huge Gambit fan. I've got that framed Gambit first appearance comic that my mother gave away to my cousin many moons ago, and then you repurchased for me.
I did.
So I've got that framed still, and I love that stuff growing up. And then the first 2 X-Men films were pretty awesome for comic book movies at the time.
For the time.
And again, that's
there's
one of those
that asterisk there. I'm like,
it has to
at
be
the
there.
time.
And that's another one is like all about the context, right, of when it came out. But definitely like after that, I don't know. I didn't like the direction they were going, and
Sure.
First Class was fine. It was okay. And I just wasn't excited about the sequels. And I think maybe even just talking to you about certain elements of the sequels, I just was like, meh. So I just never sought them out, which is, I'm a huge comic book guy. I love my comic book movies, but there's just certain ones that I don't know, certain film franchises that just appeal to me less.
Now,
there's so many movies you can see.
Now, how about the Wolverines? Did you see any of the Wolverines in that?
Yes. Unfortunately, I saw the first one, and I did not see the second one, but I did see the third one.
So you saw Wolverine Origins.
Yes.
And then you did not see the Wolverine.
Right.
But then you saw Logan.
I did.
Okay.
And Logan was good. It was fine.
Yeah.
It was good. It's good fun.
I think the Wolverine, it's worth seeing. It kind of falls apart in the end, but for the most part, it's a good one.
Yeah, it wasn't like on the streaming services that I had at the time, and I missed it.
They're starting to come onto Disney Plus. I think the Wolverine is on there.
Is it?
Yeah. I believe Days of Future Past is on there. That one's worth watching. Apocalypse.
These are all things I'm planning to catch up on. Maybe.
Yeah, that was some of it. Finally,
all right, we're
working its way.
Now there's a sequel I can enjoy.
Apocalypse. Not great. You could watch it if you were bored and you were like, you know what, I just kind of want to watch a mindless movie. I was going to say mindless fun movie, but doesn't always
But
hit.
it's not fun. All right. Well, you're selling it, so definitely want to go see it.
If you just, yeah, I don't know. You could watch it if you're really
Yeah, probably not
bored.
gonna watch it.
If you're really bored, you could watch it. Dark Phoenix, that don't watch it. Don't even waste your time. It was so bad. It was so bad. I regret watching it. One of the worst superhero movies I've seen. And I saw the Fantastic Four remake. Fantastic Four is still worse than Dark Knight or Dark Phoenix. But Dark Phoenix is still really bad. There's my little tangent. Okay,
All right.
so unfinished franchises. Okay, that makes sense. I guess that could actually line up with my number 6. I wrote The Fast and the Furious 3 and later.
Oh, there you go.
These are movies that I feel like I should watch or should have seen. I should have seen them in theaters. I love action movies. I enjoy the actors that are in them. They brought in The Rock. They brought in Jason Statham. They've got Vin Diesel. They've got like just it feels like, you know, growing up in the 80s and 90s, you know, I grew up watching these Arnold Schwarzenegger, Commando, you know, um, True Lies was a little better, but the Commando-esque movies where it's like you've got a good guy and then you've got a bad guy, and it's just action, action, action the whole way. And this seems like the type of franchise that I should be watching because I'm sure I would enjoy them. But I don't know. I just haven't seen like I saw one like I don't even think I saw it in theaters. And then I saw 2 because I was working for the Mitsubishi Motors national headquarters at the time. And all of the cars that they used were Mitsubishi. So there was this big Mitsubishi employee screening that we got to go see. So I saw that. And then I just didn't see any of the other ones. And I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know why I haven't seen them. Have you seen any of the Fast and Furious movies? I think there's like 9. I think there's 9 or 10 of them.
I'll just go 5 for me. Will just be the entire Fast and Furious franchise, with the exception of the one that everyone tells me doesn't count, which is Tokyo Drift. But you guys have heard me talk about these if you watched some of our past podcasts. So I have seen just Tokyo Drift on an airplane, which is of course the best place to watch a car film.
Sure.
But that's the only one that I've seen.
So that's your number 5.
That's my number 5. And when we got HBO Max, I thought, I saw Fast and Furious on there. I'm like, okay, cool. I can catch up on all these. There's only 2, and they're like the 2 most recent one, like the Hobbs one and like 7 or something. So not going to help me catch up on the franchise.
Gotcha.
And I don't know, maybe tell me down below, do I need to have seen like 1 through however many there are before Hobbs?
That's a very good question. Yes. Do
I need to see those?
Let us both
let
know
us
in the
know.
comments.
Or like, let us know which ones we should see. And bro, you should watch Tokyo Drift because I can guarantee that is one that I have seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. But I heard it. I heard it was the worst.
Or heart, or
I heard it was the worst.
But if you're looking for fun, I'm trying to describe it the way you described your other one. If you're looking to be bored by a movie and want it to be on in the background and stare at your cell phone the entire time it's on, that's the movie for you. You can scroll Instagram or whatever you want to do. Just Twitter. Okay, great. And then just have it on, and then you can say, "Oh, I watched it."
Now I have a question for you. I have a question for you. So, why did you not include that in your unfinished franchise list spot?
I don't, because I didn't see the first one.
Okay.
I feel like I don't know. It didn't feel like a genuine like unfinished because there were so many of them, and I saw such a random one, and it wasn't one that I sought out to like all the other ones that I would include in that, and there's more that I could include, and were things that I sought out to see the first few,
okay,
and then just didn't want to finish the franchise for whatever reason. I was like, for a variety of reasons. Whereas this one, I happened to be trapped on this, like, in this tin coffin flying above the earth, and it was the only thing I could watch. And I missed the first few and haven't seen any since. So it just didn't. It seemed like its own category. People really like this franchise, obviously, because they
Yeah.
keep making them. So
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be like rude about the franchise. I mean, obviously, I have nothing bad to say about the films other than Tokyo Drift, I guess. I haven't seen them, right? And so it kind of gets its own category for me, just because I think most people are like, you haven't even seen one of them, and I'm like, Tokyo
Ah.
Drift, like, that doesn't count. I've had like multiple people say that doesn't count.
So
I like
so
them.
you just haven't even started it, really, because you
I haven't
haven't
even
started
started it.
it. So, okay,
I just,
so it
and,
wouldn't
and
be
because
like an
it's one of those
unfinished.
things I don't know how to start.
Yeah.
Like John Wick. John Wick was one I meant to include in my started franchises that I didn't finish. Um, so
Should have been on my list. There's an honorable mention. I haven't seen any of the John Wicks. I think that
you
was
would
one
really
of the.
like them.
I think that was one of the things that I originally thought. I was like, that needs to go on my list because it's one that I really want to see that I just haven't seen
You
any
will
of them.
definitely like it.
I
And
know that I
maybe
will.
by everyone telling you that you're gonna hate it, but I'm just telling you right now, you're gonna love it.
No, I have a feeling I'll love it.
Yeah.
It's not streaming anywhere. I
No.
just need all movies to be streaming and available for me.
Right?
That's what I need.
That's what we were promised. That's the future we were promised, bro.
Yes.
Let's make it happen.
Yes.
I've got some John. We'll have to have a John Wick conversation another time because I've got some feelings on those. But
I love to. I just need to watch it.
Yeah, you do. You do.
All right. So that was your number 5, right? So my number 5 is Venom. So the recent Venom movie with Tom Hardy. I'm a Marvel guy. I love, not even just a Marvel guy, I'm a comic book guy. I love comic books. I love comic book movies. I've seen every Marvel movie in theaters. So how do I not see Venom? I don't know. It even came out like after. I can't even use like babies as an excuse. It was in theaters and then it wasn't. And I don't know where it's streaming and I haven't seen it. I've read stuff about it, but just I've never watched it. And I love Spider-Man. I love the Spider-Man movies. I enjoyed Venom in the comics when I was younger. Why haven't I seen this movie? I don't even know why I haven't seen this movie. I remember like watching all the trailers. I watched like trailer breakdowns and analysis on all this stuff, and then I never saw it. And it's just this silly thing that I'm like, yeah, I really want to watch that, and then I've never watched it. And I don't know, and there have been Marvel movies that have come out since then that I watch, and other movies come out that I then stream and seek out and watch, and somehow Venom just exists in this little place in my brain where I'm like, I really want to see that. And then I forget all about it, and I forget that it exists, and they talk about sequels, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to watch that. And then I don't. And I don't know. I don't know why. And I have no excuse for not seeing this movie.
We'll make this happen for you, bro. We'll figure it out. We're gonna get you the John Wicks. We're gonna get sponsored by John Wick and by Venom. We're gonna hook you up.
Did you ever see Venom?
I did not. I missed that one as well.
Okay. All right. Then I guess that's what we got.
Yeah.
Venom. It's my number 5. No excuse. I've just not seen it. All right. How about your number 4?
My number 4, I put Interstellar just because when we did our top 10 favorite movies, that was like your number 1.
Number 2. Number 2.
What was your number 2?
Number 2.
No, that was. Are you sure? What was your number 1? Oh, Star Wars.
Empire. Yeah.
Empire. That's right. Okay. I digress. So I put this here to have a spoiler. If you haven't watched that yet, what are you doing? Stop this video. It's boring. Go back. Watch the other one. I put this here because I wanted to have a brief conversation about events.
Okay.
And it struck me as I was doing my list that like, look, movies used to be events, right? Going to the theater, it was like,
Sure.
especially when I was a kid, it was a huge production because I couldn't just take myself. Like I had to get a ride, and I had to pick a time out of like a newspaper, like a savage. It's like, oh, all right, what are we doing
Yeah.
here?
Remember the newspaper? It was all in the newspapers.
Oh my gosh, it was terrible. And they go there and maybe even occasionally sneak into a second film, just try to
Yeah.
carve out a full. It was an experience.
Sure.
And then I got older, and it was a different kind of experience. But even like watching movies at home, was like a new DVD release was like a big deal. And I would watch, okay, when are the new movies coming out? Oh man. And then all right, I'm gonna find the best deal in these, and then have a bunch of people over, and we're all watching this together.
Yeah,
And
I remember those
having like a
nights. I
big,
remember those
oh
nights.
yeah, and we'd have like big ample DVD collections, so that at any given moment, if someone dropped I haven't seen like a list like this, oh, I've never seen a Fast and the Furious, it's like, what? All right, we're all watching that right
We're
now,
popping it in
canceling
right
evening
now.
plans. Boom.
We're
And-
watching
and
it.
now
No,
it's-
doesn't matter what time it is. It could be midnight. We're watching this movie.
We're watching this. And now I realize that most of the movies that I see now are curated for me by streaming services, which is just so weird.
Yeah.
If it out in the theaters, I don't go to the theaters nearly as much. It takes
Yeah.
a lot to get me out to the theaters. Now we've talked about
Go,
this.
go watch our theater versus streaming
links
conversation.
down below, right, bro?
Yep.
More work for you. Links
Yep.
down below.
Yep.
So I don't get to the theaters as much. So if it doesn't come to like one of the big streaming services, I miss it. And then I've fallen head over heels for television, like really good television shows. And I'm much more willing to invest into those. And so I'm going to include with Interstellar just recent sci-fi in the theaters. I missed
Okay.
like Gravity. I missed this. I actually missed the new Star Trek. I saw the first new Star Trek movie, but I didn't see the other. I don't know if there were two or three.
There were
I don't even
two
know.
after that. Yeah.
Ad Astra. How do you say that?
Ad
Astra?
Astra.
Ad Astra. The Brad Pitt, right?
Yep. Yep.
Missed that. I don't know. Anyway, can't even pronounce it. Did I say The Martian with Matt Damon?
No, you
I-
didn't. But that was a good one.
I saw Moon, by the way. Moon with
Oh, see, I didn't see Moon.
Sam Rockwell. He was really good in that.
Wow.
I saw that on an airplane. I guess I've seen too many movies on airplanes.
Apparently.
So that was really good.
That's
though.
the
I did
only way
enjoy
you
that.
watch movies is when you travel on an airplane.
Lock me in a place where I can't go anywhere and give me. But now I don't do that anymore because now I just download all my own content onto my iPad. So even
There you
those
go.
days are. Anyway, I
That's
guess my
true.
point is it's easier to bubble up, and it's harder for things that to penetrate. Like things that you wouldn't expect to like. There's just going to be fewer surprise movies because you can kind of like curate your own choices better. And then on top of that, streaming services are already kind of curating for you. It's like, oh yeah, the John Wicks haven't come anywhere, so haven't seen them.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like an odd. It's odd. It's certainly a different movie set. So I just wanted to briefly have that conversation. I'm framing that around sci-fi movies.
Yeah, and that makes
There
sense.
you go.
Though you should see Interstellar because it is one of my favorite movies.
I heard it's sad, man.
Fun. Who told you it's sad? Who's
You
giving
told me it was sad.
Oh, well,
You said it's the saddest movie you've ever seen.
it's a little sad. I don't know about. It's not the saddest movie I've ever seen.
Now I know everyone dies.
What?
You said it wasn't. You said it wasn't as funny as Event Horizon, and it was sadder than Gravity. what you said.
Definitely not as funny as Event Horizon. It's an odd thing to say.
Hey, your words.
Are they? Were they? I don't remember saying that.
All right, fair enough. All right, what's your number?
I'll
What's
just, have
your
to,
number?
I'll just have to take your word for it. All right, my number 4. It's kind of another, and my last, kind of a category. And so I put Quentin Tarantino. And so I
Okay,
listed
interesting.
Kill Bill 1 and 2 and Reservoir Dogs. I've never seen any of those. Reservoir Dogs is one of those that people just seem to have seen, and somehow I've just seemed to miss it.
People have seen it.
Kill Bill 1 and 2. I don't know how I missed this. These came out when I was always at the movie theaters. I wasn't
Yeah.
married. I didn't have kids. How did I
Interesting.
miss these? I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I was at the theaters all the
I think
time.
you would like those.
I probably would. Even my wife has seen these.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. I admittedly, I'm not a huge Quentin Tarantino fan. Maybe I maybe I saw Quentin Tarantino. I was kind of like, meh. Um, but I've seen other movies. I saw Inglorious Bastards, and that came out way after both of these. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, Reservoir Dogs, I think, especially, is kind of one of those big movies that people just talk about of being these amazing movies. And I hear quotes and I hear people talk about them, and I'm kind of like, I don't know. I haven't seen them. So it's
You if you ever get around to watching that, you're gonna there'll be a moment about halfway through
uh
where like several conversations and videos that you filmed with our friend Dave back in the day will suddenly make sense. You'll be like, oh my gosh, he was referencing this the whole time. And you'll be like, oh, because he loved that movie, and
okay.
he would make references to it frequently, and sing the song from the torture scene, and uh, so so
Was
if
that
you
the
ever get
song that
around
he
to
would
watching that,
sing? Was that from Reservoir
yeah,
Dogs?
yeah. So
Oh,
so you'll they'll just be, and there's
I
certain
just
like
thought it
in
was a
certain
random song that
Tarantino,
he would sing.
and like Kill Bill, like there's certain probably pop culture references, like in even like I think in animated TV shows and things.
Okay.
You might just be like, oh, okay, so that's this where kind of this came from, some of these ideas. It's got a just like a shoot 'em up quality
Okay.
to it,
Okay.
where it's kind of, there's a loose story, but it's mostly just like the idea of her going around and killing people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I
yeah,
just
there's more to it than that, but I mean, I think you'd like it.
yeah. I
You don't have to
probably
rush out and
would.
see it, but
I probably would, but it's also been, I don't know, Reservoir Dogs, what we're probably 25 years
yeah, a long
out,
time
something
ago.
like that.
Yeah.
And the Kill Bills are at least 15 plus years. So I
And
don't know.
next time you're down, I got those on DVD. I'll just send them home with you
Oh, okay.
from my DVD days.
DVD.
Take them out of here.
Come on, you don't
I
have the
know.
Blu-ray? At least offer me the Blu-ray.
Oh no, come on now.
All
Yeah,
right.
that nonsense.
How about your number three?
My number three
We're getting
is a
into it now. Top three. Top three. I'm excited now.
all right. My number three is a bit of a cop out,
Oh,
and
as I just build this up.
because look, after my big just insert, you can cut and paste my last speech. Basically, most movies from 2019 and 2020.
Okay.
I was like looking through the list of films, like, oh my gosh, like I was looking at like the last Academy Award, like Best Picture nominees, and I'm like, oh my god, I just haven't seen them. I just haven't seen
Well,
the majority.
That's because they're Academy Award movies. Nobody sees those except the people that are voting.
I want to see Parasite. There's a handful of movies I'm like, oh, that looks good. I just haven't seen my recent. There's a huge hole in like my recent film watching
Okay.
outside of like Marvel universe,
The Marvel and the Star Wars,
most of the DC, the Star Wars. There's just a gap of like specifically like dramas, especially just like stuff that seems like it's more serious. It's harder because I can't watch stuff I can't watch with like the family, stuff that's not on streaming.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't want to rehash it, but just it's a cop out. But like legitimately, you could start rattling off movies from the last 2 years, and I'll just be like Frozen 2, haven't seen it. I there's just a lot of like I just picked that one because it was a happier and family movie. It meets all the criteria of something I should have seen, and I still haven't seen it. So look, this isn't a movie podcast, but this is multi, this is video games, comic books, movies, television. So, I'm sorry, like my 2019, 2020, there's been a pandemic. I don't know if you guys heard about it. It's been, keeping me inside, which you might think would make me watch more movies, but it's kind of pushed me more towards the television side of things, investing because I've had more time to invest in longer storytelling.
Now, Frozen 2 is on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Come on, man! You're talking about all your streaming.
I thought about watching it, and then I just, I let it go.
Oh golly! All right. on that note, my number three um, is Heat. Now, I put this so high on the list because I know that Heat was like a direct influence on The Dark Knight. Christopher Nolan
Basically the same movie.
has said that in interviews. I've read stuff. Christopher Nolan like took shots and like directly like did similar shots in The Dark Knight as there is Heat, and I've always been like, man, I want to see that movie. Ah, dang, I love The Dark Knight. I gotta see Heat, and I just never have. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
again, it's kind of one of those like, I don't even have an excuse. I don't even know if it's streaming. I don't think I've even looked it up. But it's one that I'm like, I want to see that movie. And that's an older movie too. It's not like I haven't had opportunities to watch this. I just haven't. I don't know. I probably enjoy it. It's an action movie, right? It's like an action crime movie. Yeah. So
I can I say, like, when that came out, it was so hyped because it was like Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, the greatest actors who have ever walked the face of the earth, finally together sharing the screen.
sure.
And the movie, I thought the movie was like, okay,
Really?
this would be. I would be really curious. I haven't rewatched it
Okay.
in a long time, and I'd be curious to watch it now without like without the WWE announcer guy telling me it's going to be the life-changing movie that will alter your worldview of how movies are made. It didn't like stand out as like, it certainly was not anywhere near as good as like Godfather 2, which they were both in, just not in the same scenes.
Sure.
Like it certainly wasn't nearly as good as those movies or other movies that I think would fit into that genre. It was just, I think it was a little different than I expected. It was a little, maybe a little bit of a letdown at the time because of what expectations were. And I've rewatched like pieces of it since then, but I haven't like sat down and said, okay, let's give this another honest rewatch. Maybe when we do a Does It Hold Up episode, we can watch that one. But I guess you can't really say if it holds up or not since you haven't ever seen it. But
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But I really want to see it.
Just to say that you did.
I want to see it. So, yeah, there we go. Heat.
There we go.
My number 3. How about your number 2?
Okay, so look, I'm not. Look, I don't have a lot of shame attached to any of the ones that I've said. People can be mad at me for having not seen a lot of these, and I get that, and not everyone's tastes are going to be the same, and not everyone's drive to see certain films are going to be the same. But my number 2, I'm going to just, how you had kind of like your Quentin Tarantino thing. I haven't seen a lot of Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
So my number 2 is Adam Sandler.
Okay.
So I didn't see like Big Daddy or Happy Gilmore or Little Nicky or Billy Madison, Mr. Deeds.
You didn't see any of those?
I just missed all of those. I saw The Wedding Singer, and it was fine. I can't look, best Adam Sandler movie of all time, possibly Airheads.
Okay. Is that an Adam Sandler movie?
No, but that's the thing. So in my younger days, I really strongly disliked that style of movie.
Okay.
I don't, and I hate to use this word, but I hated the Jim Carrey, like the Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, stuff, and that Adam Sandler era of just dumb movies.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I would probably go back and watch them, and they'd probably be great, and I'd probably laugh, I'd probably enjoy them. But at that time, back when I had like maybe like I was maybe a little pretentious or what, I don't know what it was. I just didn't like that. I didn't find him funny, and so I just never wanted to see those movies. You know what? It's not even okay. you know what? I'm gonna psychoanalyze myself here.
Okay.
I wasn't being pretentious, and it had nothing to do with feeling like I'm too good for those movies. It had everything to do with the people that I knew in my life at the time that those movies were popular that liked those movies.
Okay.
I'm having flashbacks. People walking around like talking with their butt like Ace Ventura, like and trying to do bad Jim Carrey impressions.
Yeah.
People walking around and quoting these Adam Sandler, annoying, obnoxious people, and I did not like those people because they were bad people, Brody. They were bad people, and so it just turned me off of those particular actors in that period of time.
Okay.
So I don't need to defend myself to you. Stop attacking me, Brody.
Well, and yes, I mean they were
Unshrunk Love is okay.
They were annoying, stupid characters, and so the people that were walking around doing bad impressions of an already stupid character just makes it all the worse.
I'm gonna lump Borat into this. I never saw Borat.
Oh, see, I never saw any of those. The Sacha Baron Cohen movies. I didn't see any of them.
The Ali G show was funny.
No, I missed all of them. I never liked that style of like I'm gonna walk around and try to offend people and then laugh at them when they get offended. I don't know. I never bothered. I was kind of like, not for me.
Well, that's my number 2, bro.
Okay, so all of Adam Sandler, apart from Airheads.
I wouldn't say all. I've seen a couple, but there was like a huge chunk of like his more successful comedies in that, like, I don't know, 90s, 2000s.
It was like the late 90s, I would say, where you get the Billy Madison, the Waterboy, I liked Mr. Deeds.
People still like, because I play slow pitch softball, and people still like reference Happy Gilmore as like a thing when people like kind of run up in the box and like hit the ball. So I had to figure out why people would call that. So I guess he like runs up and tries to hit the golf ball.
Yeah.
So like there was certain like every now and then things would come up like in a just everyday conversation, and it was like, oh man, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm sorry, I don't. What does that mean?
Okay, all right.
There's my shame.
There you go. Well, talk about shame. My number 2. I'm gonna get some flack for this one.
Yes, you are. I can feel it.
My number 2 is The Shawshank Redemption.
No, bro.
I've never seen it. I a long time ago, I dated a gal. It was her favorite movie of all time. And I remember we sat down to watch it, and I fell asleep through like the entire movie.
And she didn't wake you up? Did she just dump you? Did she just like leave you a note and said, we're done, I'm out?
I woke up and she was gone.
You're no longer boyfriend and girlfriend.
But no, it's and I even, that was already on my list. And then I went into the IMDb like top movies, and is it number 1? It's really high up there if it's not.
I don't think it's number 1, but it's high. It is really high up there, yeah.
And that's real quick. And that's one where like, I know some of the scenes. I know like the rain scene where he's looking up and he's got his arms.
Oh, that is number 1 of all time. Huh, how about that?
Yeah.
I thought The Godfather was higher. No, it is higher. Dark Knight is number 4. People, come on, stop it. Stop it. It's not the 4th best movie of all time.
So it's Shawshank Redemption. I don't know. It's a drama. Admittedly, I'm not like huge on dramas, though Interstellar is my number 2 of all time. But that's a sci-fi. That doesn't count as a drama.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know why I haven't seen it. It's one that I feel like I should have seen. It's one that at some point you think I would have sat down with either a group or another person. And I guess I did sit down with another person to watch it, but then I fell asleep. But I don't know. And it's supposedly like the best movie of all time, according to IMDb.
Yeah, I don't think it's the best movie of all time, but I loved it.
Yeah.
This was like a perennial in my top 5 after it came out.
Okay.
There's look, I know like between the two of us, you're gonna try to frame me like I'm the curmudgeon who like hates popular movies and likes to to poo poo the Dark Knight and other things. Look, I think the Dark Knight's a really great movie, and saying it's like a 7.8 or something like that out of 10, it's not like an insult. And so if you want to, if people are out there and they're like they think the Shawshank Redemption is overrated, there's like a group of people out there that think it's cool to like say the Beatles sucked.
Okay.
I'm not a big Beatles fan. Like
Yeah.
they have a huge catalog of music. Some of it I like, some of it I don't care for.
Sure.
But to sit back there and to say that they're a bad band is like, I think that's kind of an asinine position. I think that you can kind of say it's not for me, or maybe they're a little overrated or whatever, without saying that they suck. I mean, you can't just, I don't know. Anyway, so
That's not nice.
Siri says that's not nice. Thank you, Siri. That's fun. Anyways, so I really like the Shawshank Redemption. Whether or not you would watch that and think it was the greatest movie of all time, look, this is hard. Like whenever I feel like television shows, like Parks and Rec or The Office, like stuff that I think is a slow build that people love. Like there's like like Schitt's Creek that's on right now that I think is a great show, but it takes time to develop. And it's hard when everyone around you is talking about how it's like the greatest thing. And then you sit down to watch it and you're like, it's not the greatest.
Yeah.
And there's like that pressure to like think, to have like this life-changing experience when you're watching this movie or TV show, this transcendent experience. So look, if you ever do watch it, and you should, just take it for what it's worth. I think it's held up well. It's well acted. It's well written. I think there's inspiring storylines about humanity and hope and all sorts of different things you can fill in the blank. And you may just walk away and go, that was fine. It's not like a drama, drama.
Okay.
I mean, it's dramatic, sure, but there's some funny moments. There's some moments of like camaraderie and friendship and all sorts of different like interesting things. So it's not like watching, I don't know, like Schindler's List or something that's like where when you finish, there's this despair that's like waiting on you. Like that's a great movie. Schindler's is a fantastic movie. It's just not one that I ever want to watch ever again. It's like, the music's beautiful. It's just so sad. It's so well done, but it's so powerful. But no, thank you. I think you should give it a shot. And if you're watching this and you've never seen it, give it a chance. Just don't go into it expecting it to be the 9.1 out of 10. Don't go into expecting to be the highest rated movie you've ever seen. Yeah. Just give it a chance to be what it is for you. And it may just be a fine movie, and you walk away and say, okay, I've seen it. There's a lot of cultural references that have been like, storytelling devices and things that have been used since then that like will make sense. You can retroactively be like, oh, that's what, you mentioned Citizen Kane. Like you go back and you watch that and you say, oh, the sled, oh, Rosebud. I've heard people say Rosebud and, The Simpsons or whatever, it's like, oh, okay, that's where that's from. And now I've seen that and now I know, so it's just, it's worth a watch. You should see it.
Yeah. And I'd like to, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know if like I have a really strong urge to see it.
You should do it. You should watch it.
I'll probably get around to it one day.
Just do it. Do it.
Not like it's
between
not
now and next week.
It's not even like super high on my man. I gotta see that. Like if you put Shawshank Redemption or Venom in front of me, I'll be like, I'll watch Venom.
What if it was Shawshank Redemption or Catwoman?
I guess I'd watch Shawshank Redemption.
Wow, Brody, come on, it's a great movie. Give it a chance. Give it a chance.
Oh,
it's got Morgan Freeman in it, man. Come on.
I know.
Morgan Freeman's the.
I'll watch it one day. One day I'll watch it, and then it'll change my life, and I'll be like, "Why did I wait so long to watch this movie?"
The last time you and I were together,
this movie changed my life.
And we watched Nacho Libre together,
which is an amazing movie.
So the next time you and I are together, we will sit down. We will watch The Shawshank Redemption.
Hey,
and
Nacho
if you fall
Libre
asleep,
changed your life.
There will be consequences.
Okay.
So one time, Brody was at my house when we were younger.
Is it the
whipped cream? He fell asleep in an armchair.
Is this whipped cream?
And so we had a video camera and we pulled it out. It was gonna be hilarious. My little sister's watch this, and she fills up her hand with whipped cream, just a nice pile of whipped cream, and we're all kind of silently, there's like 10 of us in the room, silently waiting for her just to kind of rub it on his face. And so
This was
she
supposed to be
walks
on
up to
my
him,
hand, and then you tickle my nose, and I go like that.
and she just goes and just smacks him in the face with it like
As
it's a pie.
hard as she could.
And it was one of those moments where everyone wants to laugh because it's so like not what we were expecting, and it's so funny. Brody wakes up with this, and he has the saddest look in his eyes, like, why? And he's looking around, and everyone's like, like ready to laugh, and like and people are starting to giggle, and Katie's like, oh, I'm sorry, and he had just looked like he was just so like, how could you, like you just kicked his dog or something.
I was sleeping.
And he didn't even see. He's just like, what do you do? Oh yeah, and he just walked out of the room. Like,
I just got up and just walked
what
out.
happened? You handled that very well. I don't know that anyone else in the world would have been so nice to have been woken up by like essentially a whipped cream punch.
A punch in the face. It was a punch in the face. Yeah.
So needless to say, if you fall asleep during the Shawshank Redemption, you can expect another little present from my sister.
Oh man. I knew that story was coming too. I knew it was coming. All right. How about your number one, Charlie?
All right. This is the most embarrassing one on the list for me. And I will attempt to justify
I'm so
why
excited.
it's here on the list. And
So
I will
excited.
fail so miserably to justify it. And everyone can tear me apart in the comments. I deserve it. I have not seen the last 2 Harry Potter films.
Really? Wait, so you saw 1 through 6 and then you just never saw the finale?
That is correct.
Do you
So
know
I don't know how that ends.
you don't even know how it ends? Did you read the book?
I don't know how it ends. We are all reading together as a family. We're in book 3 towards the end.
Oh my goodness. Charlie.
And I will attempt to justify this. I missed it in the theaters, which was a mistake.
Okay. You
And
know you
then
had 2
I thought-
chances because there were 2 movies.
I know, and once you miss the first one, you can't go watch the second one. Oh, I'm just gonna go watch the second one, and then
No.
So and then by the time they came out on DVD, I purchased them. I own them
Really?
on DVD. But then, so much time had passed. It's like, okay, well, I need to start the franchise over
Oh my
and watch it
goodness.
from the beginning. So then I get to like movie 4 or 5, and I burn out, and then I'm off for a little
You
while.
never
And then enough time passes where it's like, well, I got to start it over again because I don't remember enough. And so this has happened like 3 or 4 times
Oh my
where I'll
goodness.
cycle up to, but now I'm missing one of, I think, movie 5. I am missing
Okay.
the DVD. I don't know where it is. So we started again, and we're like, we're going to get all the way through this time. We watched the first 4, and I can't find the 5th movie. It's not on the streaming services. So can't find 5.
It's
and I
not
can't
on
skip
it's not on
5.
HBO Max? I thought they were all on
I haven't
HBO
checked.
Max.
All right. We've had it for like 2 days. So
Okay,
I haven't
okay.
like searched for it. I'll search for it. But yeah, so like it's a great shame. I don't like finishing franchises. There's a little piece in me here. It's like saying goodbye to old friends. So
Yeah.
I'm never in a rush to do it.
Okay.
I wasn't in a rush to watch Endgame. It was just like, it's like, oh, this is gonna be the last one. It's
Except more coming
Yeah.
out. But
well, but it's different. It's like this. Where's Robert? Where's Chris? Where's our friends?
sure.
Anyway, and I did see that. I
Yeah.
don't know. So there's already that part of me that's like, oh man, it's such a bummer to finish. And what if I don't like the end? I like what if they do something like, I don't know, kill Dumbledore or something like that? I'm gonna be like, oh man, what a
Well,
bummer.
I mean, you did see movie 6.
Spoiler alerts, bro. Spoilers.
You saw the
Yeah.
movie. It's not a spoiler.
No, I mean for the people
You
watching.
watched it. Come on. 6 came out at least 10 years ago. No.
Is that statute of limitations on
No,
spoilers?
it wasn't 10 years. Well, 5 came out in 2007 because I know we saw
Why
that.
don't you
we
just
saw
tell me
that
how
on
it ends, bro?
honeymoon. No, I'm not going to tell you
So-
how it ends.
Harry
haven't
and
even-
Hermione end up falling in love, right? And they
Yep,
they get married,
that's
live
it.
happily ever after. That's it?
Exactly.
Okay.
And they team up and kill Ron.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Ron gone. Get him out of here.
He's
I
gone.
always thought Ron and Ginny made a cute couple, but like a Luke Leia kind of way. I don't trust the gingers. Anyway, so what's your number one?
All right. My number one, I Okay, I am very shameful of this. I'm quite embarrassed. I am pretty sure I have lied about seeing this movie when it's come up in conversation because I just don't want to admit. But here I am admitting it on
Wow.
the
Okay, big
internet.
moment here.
It is a big
I'm ready
moment.
because you've lied to me about this for sure.
I probably have. I have never seen The Goonies.
Oh wow.
I've never seen it. I
Shame.
it's I don't know. I didn't see it as a kid. I don't know if it I I don't know. I don't know. It's even streaming. I've thought about watching it with my kids, and then I don't. And it's supposedly one of those like childhood movies that is a
Yeah.
cult classic as well as like just being this beloved movie. It's Steven Spielberg. I just
That's disappointing to hear, but and
I
the worst part of it is you probably missed it. You probably missed the window where it would have been a really enjoyable experience for you. It's probably
probably
gone.
probably yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that one's like that one's got nostalgia in
Yeah.
it that's deep in it. And
Okay.
my kids saw that we at a drive-in because it
Okay.
was during the pandemic. Our local movie theater set up like a faux drive-in.
Yeah.
Watched the Goonies there. It was okay. They were like, this is okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. But like there's stuff like Stranger Things that exists that's got kind of like a Goonies-esque feel that's like done
Okay.
with like more. Did you like Stranger? Have you seen Stranger Things?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you
I
like
liked
it?
it. Yeah.
So I'm not sure that you would enjoy the Goonies anymore, but you should see it. You should still see it because then you'll understand what it means when people yell "chunk" or talk about the truffle shuffle.
Well, and like and that's the thing is that it has become so much almost a part of culture where like I know who Sloth is. I know the chunk cry. I know what the truffle shuffle is because I send memes to people.
You guys.
Yeah, I know that. I know who says that. And there's the gifts, of the truffle shuffle and the guy the kid dancing, and
It's real sad.
there's all this stuff
It's,
that I know
it's pretty sad.
because it because it exists just in pop culture, and so I'm aware of a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
I just in like I what year did that come out?
85.
Okay. So I mean I was young. I was too young when that came out, I'm sure to see. Yeah, definitely too young. Because I was born in 82. So I was only 3 years old. But even getting into late 80s, early 90s, when I'm approaching that, 8, 9, 10 range, that is probably the ideal window to see it. Um, it never came up. I don't know if it's like, well, I had my older sister was 6 years older than me, so she would never have watched it. My little sister was 3 years younger than me. She never would have watched it. Did it never happened at a sleepover or anything like that. It just never happened. And then
Hmm.
I don't know. And then it kind of got to this point where it was like people would talk about it and I kind of knew the stuff. So I'd nod and smile. Yep. Yep. The Goonies. Hey, I know that movie. Never seen it.
Oh,
Didn't
bro.
say that
Yeah.
until just now. So
The-
that's when I made this list, I was like, far and away, Goonies is my number one.
All right. So look, let us know down below who should be more ashamed of their list. And there are longer lists than probably they should have been. Sorry. But look, you should watch the Goonies just so you can say, look, get that shame out of you. So you can say, I've seen the Goonies. You've seen it. Slay the beast, bro. watch The Shawshank Redemption and The Goonies, double feature. I, on the other hand, don't need to watch any of the things that I have not seen.
No, you need to
So
watch
you should definitely be
Interstellar.
more ashamed of your list.
You need to watch
Oh, no,
Interstellar.
it's too sad.
And you
Too
for sure
sad.
need to watch the last two Harry Potter. Come on, Charlie. I mean,
I know, and I need to catch up on 2019 and 2020. I really
read
do.
the books first, and then go and watch the movies. Because you should
Yeah.
always read the books first, people.
That's what
read the
we're
book
working our way.
first.
So we'll get there. I'll read the book first, and then 2023 is when I'm planning on seeing the last two Harry Potters.
2023. Why are you waiting so long?
Yeah, but because that's how long it's going to take us to finish all the books.
What? What book did you say you were on? Okay, so you only have 4 more books. Why is it gonna? You're only reading a book a year.
We started book 1 in 2009. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like,
but we're not exact.
that doesn't make sense, Charlie.
Yeah, but I do need to watch those, and I will. All right, anything you want to add? Any honorable mentions? Any extra shade you want to throw my way?
No, I don't think so. I was actually kind of surprised that we did have a couple crossovers with the Fast and Furious. I was on both of
Yeah.
our lists. Hobbit, to an extent. I had Hobbit 3. You had all the Hobbits.
All the Hobbits. Yeah.
And then kind of those 40s classics we both mentioned. So I honestly, I was surprised that we had so many crossovers, that we thought those were important enough movies that we hadn't seen. So
Yeah.
maybe they're not
Well,
that important.
Yeah, maybe. Well, let us know down below what are some movies that you guys haven't seen that maybe you've heard us talk about, maybe on our 10 favorite movies list, link below, or maybe just some of the, if especially depending on what decade you were born, maybe you missed a lot of the 80s films, 90s
Sure.
films. There's a lot of classics out there. Let us know which ones we're idiots for not having seen. Let me know which Adam Sandler. If I'm going to go back, I'm going to watch some of these Adam Sandlers. Let me know if they're worth it. I will never watch Grown Ups or Grown Ups 2 or the Jack and Jill. So don't recommend those, because that's an instant block. But other than that, let me know which ones we should check out. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe so we can keep doing these videos for you guys, and we'll have more fun ones to come your way real soon.
Yeah, no, that's it. All right.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time
We'll
on
see you
Talk
next
Talk
time.
Punch.
Talk Punch.
Punch that like button. Punch it.
Punch it.